Life inside a peaceful monastery 1,000 years ago. Before dawn, awakening to a simpler world. Approximately 5 minutes of narration asterisk. Welcome, dear friend. Tonight there is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to accomplish, and no reason to hurry. The busy world can wait until morning. For now, you are invited to travel back nearly 1,000 years, to a quiet monastery hidden among rolling green hills in medieval Europe. As this story unfolds, allow your breathing to become slow and comfortable. With every gentle breath, imagine the worries of today becoming smaller, drifting farther away like mist beneath the morning sun. Picture yourself walking along a narrow country path beneath a sky filled with countless stars. The moon hangs low above the hills, bathing the landscape in a soft silver glow. Around you, ancient oak trees sway gently in the cool night breeze. Their leaves whisper quietly to one another, creating a peaceful melody that has echoed through these forests for centuries. The air is wonderfully fresh. It carries the earthy scent of damp soil, wildflowers, and pine needles. Somewhere nearby, a small stream flows over smooth stones, its gentle murmuring blending with the distant call of an owl hidden among the branches. Ahead, you notice the monastery. Its thick stone walls rise quietly from the hillside, weathered by generations of wind and rain. A square bell tower stands above the rooftops, reaching toward the stars. Small windows glow faintly with candlelight, while climbing ivy gently embraces the ancient walls. Everything feels calm. Everything feels safe. As you approach the heavy wooden gate, it slowly opens without a sound. You step inside the peaceful courtyard. The world outside seems to disappear. Here, there are no crowded streets, no noisy marketplaces, and no rushing travelers. Only carefully tended gardens, winding stone paths, and buildings that have stood faithfully through countless seasons. You breathe deeply. The scent of lavender grows stronger. Nearby, rosemary, sage, and thyme fill the cool air with their calming fragrance. Tiny drops of dew rest upon every leaf, sparkling softly beneath the moonlight. A stone fountain stands quietly in the center of the courtyard. Water flows steadily from its carved basin, creating a soothing rhythm that has welcomed every visitor for generations. You pause beside the fountain for a moment. The water reflects the stars above like tiny diamonds dancing upon its surface. Everything invites you to slow down. Everything encourages stillness. One by one, the candles inside the monastery begin to dim. Most of the brothers are still asleep. The entire monastery rests peacefully beneath the quiet sky. You are shown to a small room where you will spend the night. The room is simple. Its walls are made from cool gray stone. A narrow wooden bed rests beside the wall, covered with a thick wool blanket that promises warmth against the cool night air. Beside it sits a small wooden stool supporting a single beeswax candle. There are no paintings, no luxurious furniture, no unnecessary possessions, only what is truly needed. Surprisingly, the room feels comforting rather than empty. Its simplicity allows your mind to become quiet. Outside your tiny window, stars continue shining brightly. Far away, wolves call softly across distant hills, though they are much too far away to disturb the peaceful monastery. You settle beneath the blanket. The wool feels warm and reassuring. For a while, you simply listen. The wind, the fountain, the leaves, the peaceful silence. Time passes gently. Eventually, your eyes close. The night drifts peacefully onward. Hours later, before the first hint of sunrise, something awakens you. A single bell. Its deep bronze tone rolls slowly across the sleeping valley. One calm note, then another. The sound is neither loud nor alarming. Instead, it feels almost like the earth itself taking a slow morning breath. The monastery begins to awaken. You open your eyes. The room remains dark, but the faintest hint of blue now touches the eastern sky beyond your window. The candle beside your bed has burned low during the night. The air feels crisp and cool. You rise slowly. Your feet touch the smooth stone floor. There is no rush, no hurried movement. Everything here begins with patience. You dress in a simple wool robe much like the monks wear every day. The fabric is coarse but warm, tied gently with a plain rope belt around your waist. As you open your wooden door, the hallway beyond is illuminated by only a handful of flickering candles. Several monks quietly emerge from their own rooms. No one speaks. There is no need. Everyone understands exactly where they are going. Together you walk through long stone corridors whose walls have witnessed hundreds of years of peaceful mornings. Your footsteps echo softly. The sound quickly fades into silence. You pass small windows where the first pale light of dawn begins to color the horizon. Outside, birds remain asleep. Even the wind seems quieter now. At the end of the hallway, large oak doors stand open. Beyond them lies the monastery chapel. You step inside. Immediately, warmth surrounds you. Hundreds of tiny candle flames flicker gently throughout the room, reflecting against polished stone columns and ancient wooden beams overhead. The scent of beeswax mingles with sweet incense rising slowly toward the ceiling. Rows of simple wooden benches fill the chapel. Beautiful stained glass windows remain dark for now, patiently waiting for sunrise to reveal their colors. The monks quietly take their places. You sit among them. For a few peaceful moments, complete silence fills the room. No one fidgets. No one checks the time. No one wonders what comes next. Everyone simply breathes. Then, without warning, one clear voice begins to sing. Then, without warning, one clear voice begins to sing. It is soft, steady, peaceful. Soon another voice joins. Then another. Before long, the entire chapel is filled with slow, gentle chanting. The ancient melody rises and falls like calm ocean waves. Even without understanding every word, the music carries a deep sense of peace. You close your eyes. The chanting surrounds you from every direction. Each note seems to slow your heartbeat just a little more. Outside, the first golden rays of sunlight finally appear above the distant hills. They slip quietly through the stained glass windows. Suddenly, the chapel transforms. Soft colors, blue, crimson, emerald, and gold, spread across the stone floor like painted light. Dust particles drift lazily through the warm beams of sunlight. The candles continue to glow, though daylight now gently joins them. Morning has arrived. The chanting gradually comes to an end. Silence returns once again. It is not an empty silence. It is peaceful, comfortable. A silence that asks nothing of you except to be present. The first day of your journey inside this peaceful monastery has only just begun. Beyond these stone walls await quiet gardens, warm bread fresh from the oven, fragrant herbs, patient scribes, peaceful orchards, and a way of life guided not by haste, but by gratitude, simplicity, and gentle purpose. For now, however, you remain seated in the soft morning light, breathing slowly, feeling completely at ease. The monastery welcomes another beautiful day, and so does your peaceful journey. Morning bells, bread, and the quiet work of the garden asterisk. Approximately 5 minutes of narration. The final note of the morning chant slowly fades into silence. For a few peaceful moments, no one moves. Golden sunlight continues to pour through the stained glass windows, gently warming the cool stone floor beneath your feet. Tiny specks of dust drift lazily through the light, floating so slowly that time itself seems to have forgotten to hurry. The monks remain seated with their heads slightly bowed, each taking a final quiet breath before beginning the day's work. Then, almost as one, they rise. The wooden benches creak softly. Simple wool robes rustle gently. Still, no one speaks. There is a quiet understanding among everyone here. Each person knows the rhythm of the morning as naturally as birds know when to greet the sunrise. You follow them into the long stone corridor. The monastery is brighter now. Sunlight spills through narrow windows, creating warm patches of light that stretch across the ancient floor. The thick walls, cool during the night, slowly begin to release their chill as the morning grows warmer. Outside, the courtyard has awakened. A pair of robins hop across the grass searching for seeds. Swallows dart gracefully through the clear blue sky above the bell tower. The fountain in the center of the courtyard continues its gentle song, the water sparkling like tiny crystals in the morning light. Nearby, lavender bushes sway in the breeze, filling the air with their calming fragrance. You pause for a moment to breathe deeply. The scent of rosemary, fresh mint, damp earth, and warm sunlight blending together create a perfume no bottle could ever capture. Soon, another gentle bell rings. This one is smaller and lighter than the chapel bell. It is the signal for breakfast. The monks quietly make their way toward the refectory, the monastery's dining hall. As you step inside, you notice how simple the room is. Long wooden tables stretch from one end of the hall to the other. Simple benches stand neatly beside them. Sunlight pours through tall windows, making the polished wood glow with a warm honey color. There are no decorations except a simple wooden cross upon the far wall. The beauty of the room comes not from riches, but from order, cleanliness, and care. You take your place beside the others. Before anyone begins eating, an elderly monk offers a short prayer of thanks. His voice is calm and gentle, not hurried, not loud, simply grateful. Then breakfast begins. Each monk receives a thick slice of freshly baked bread. The crust is golden and slightly crisp. When you break it open, warm steam rises into the cool morning air. The smell alone is comforting. Alongside the bread comes a bowl of warm oat porridge, slowly cooked over the kitchen fire before dawn. Its gentle aroma carries hints of barley and fresh milk. There is a small piece of goat's cheese, creamy and rich. A handful of dried apples gathered during the previous autumn. And cool spring water drawn fresh from the monastery well. Nothing is extravagant, yet everything feels deeply satisfying. No one rushes through the meal. Each bite is eaten slowly. Every crumb is appreciated. During breakfast, one monk quietly reads from a sacred book while everyone else listens. His calm voice blends with the soft sounds of wooden spoons, birds singing outside, and the crackling fire from the kitchen hearth. It is a peaceful way to begin the day. When breakfast is finished, each person carefully cleans his wooden bowl and cup. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is thrown away carelessly. Even the smallest loaf of bread is treated with respect, for every harvest depends upon the kindness of nature and many hours of patient work. Outside, the sun has climbed higher above the hills. The monastery gardens are now alive with color. You step through a small wooden gate into rows of carefully tended vegetables and herbs. Everything here has its place. Neat beds of onions stretch across one corner. Carrots grow beneath feathery green leaves. Beans climb tall wooden poles. Cabbages sit like giant emerald roses, their leaves sparkling with the last drops of morning dew. The monks quietly collect their tools. Simple wooden hoes, small baskets woven from willow branches, watering buckets made from oak. One smiling brother hands you a basket. Without speaking, he gently points toward the herb garden. You understand immediately. Your task is wonderfully simple. Together you begin gathering herbs that will later be used in the monastery kitchen and infirmary. You gently brush your fingers across lavender blossoms. Their sweet fragrance instantly fills the air. Nearby grows sage, believed to bring strength and healing. Mint releases its cool, refreshing scent whenever your hand passes over its leaves. Rosemary fills the garden with its rich woodland aroma. Bundles of thyme attract buzzing honeybees drifting lazily from flower to flower. The bees seem completely unafraid. The monks move carefully, making sure not to disturb them. Life here is shared peacefully with every living creature. As you continue harvesting herbs, the sounds of the monastery become your only companions. The soft scraping of garden tools, birds calling from nearby apple trees, the quiet splash of water poured over thirsty plants, the distant cooing of doves nesting beneath the chapel roof. Even the breeze seems to move more gently here. Hours pass almost unnoticed. No clock measures the time. There is only the steady movement of the sun across the sky and the occasional ringing of the monastery bell marking the hours of prayer. At the far end of the garden, several monks tend a small orchard. Young apple trees sway gently beneath the weight of green fruits still growing through the summer. Pear trees stretch their branches toward the bright sky. Beyond them lies a small vineyard where neat rows of grapevines cover the gentle hillside. Farther away, sheep quietly graze in open fields surrounded by low stone walls. The peaceful landscape seems untouched by the worries of the outside world. As the morning continues, your basket slowly fills with fragrant herbs. Lavender, mint, rosemary, sage, thyme. Their beautiful scents mingle together with the warmth of the sunshine. For a moment you stop working. You simply stand in the middle of the garden. A butterfly lands upon a nearby flower. A robin begins singing from the branch above your head. The breeze brushes gently across your face. You realize something remarkable. No one here is rushing toward tomorrow. No one is worrying about yesterday. Everyone is simply living this one peaceful morning. And perhaps that is the monastery's greatest lesson. The quiet joy of being fully present. Just then, the deep monastery bell rings once again. Its rich voice echoes across the gardens, the orchards, and the surrounding hills. The monks set down their tools without complaint. Work can always wait. The rhythm of prayer gently calls them once more. You follow them back along the winding stone path toward the chapel, carrying your basket of freshly gathered herbs. The fragrance follows you with every step. Above, white clouds drift slowly across the endless blue sky. Ahead, the ancient monastery waits peacefully in the warm morning sunlight. And another quiet chapter of this remarkable day is about to begin. The scriptorium, where time is written by hand ***. Approximately 5 minutes of narration ***. The sound of the monastery bell slowly fades into the warm morning air. With your basket of fragrant herbs resting lightly in your hands, you follow the monks along the familiar stone path. The garden behind you is alive with birdsong, while ahead the ancient monastery stands quietly beneath the brightening sky. You pass through the wooden doorway and once again enter the cool embrace of the thick stone walls. The change is immediate. Outside, the summer sun gently warms the earth. Inside, the air remains pleasantly cool, carrying the faint scent of beeswax, old wood, and smooth limestone that has stood for centuries. The monks return briefly to the chapel. As before, no one speaks. A few moments of prayer gently separate one part of the day from the next, reminding everyone to pause before beginning new work. When the prayers have ended, the brothers quietly go their separate ways. Some return to the gardens. Others head toward the kitchens, where bread for tomorrow will soon be prepared. A few walk toward the workshops, where wooden tools, barrels, and furniture are carefully repaired. Today, however, your path leads somewhere special. A kind elderly monk smiles warmly and gestures for you to follow him down a narrow corridor lit by sunlight pouring through small arched windows. At the end of the hallway stands a sturdy oak door. The monk opens it slowly. Beyond lies one of the monastery's greatest treasures, the scriptorium. As you step inside, the room is filled with gentle morning light. Tall windows face east, allowing the brightest sunlight to fall directly across long wooden desks. There are no loud conversations, no hurried footsteps, only the soft scratching of quills moving across parchment. It is a peaceful sound, steady, almost musical. Several monks sit quietly at their desks. Each is completely focused on the page before him. One carefully writes elegant letters in deep black ink. Another paints delicate vines curling around the edge of a page. Farther along the room, a younger monk gently presses thin sheets of shimmering gold leaf onto an illuminated letter. The golden surface catches the sunlight and glows as though it were lit from within. You move slowly between the desks, careful not to disturb anyone. Every movement feels gentle here. Every breath seems quieter. The elderly monk invites you to sit beside an empty desk. Waiting there is a clean sheet of parchment. You gently touch its smooth surface. It feels different from modern paper. Thicker, stronger. Made from carefully prepared animal skin, each sheet represents many hours of patient craftsmanship. Nothing here is wasted. Beside the parchment rests a feather quill. Its tip has been carefully cut to hold just the right amount of ink. Nearby sits a small clay pot filled with rich black ink made from oak galls, soot, and natural minerals. The monk dips the quill into the ink and slowly demonstrates how each letter is formed. Not quickly, not perfectly, simply with care. He smiles as if to remind you that beautiful work is never rushed. You carefully hold the feather. The quill feels surprisingly light between your fingers. Slowly you draw your first line. The ink glides smoothly across the parchment. Then another line. Then a gentle curve. There is no pressure to finish. No race against time. Only the peaceful joy of creating something one careful stroke at a time. Around you, sunlight continues to move slowly across the room. The only sounds are the whisper of robes, the scratching of quills, and the occasional flutter of pigeons resting upon the roof above. Hours seem to pass without anyone noticing. One monk quietly mixes colorful paints made from crushed stones, flowers, charcoal, and rare minerals. Brilliant blue comes from precious lapis lazuli. Deep red is created from natural pigments gathered from distant lands. Soft green is mixed from finely ground minerals. Golden yellow shines warmly beside them. With tiny brushes made from animal hair, the artists decorate each page with remarkable patience. Tiny flowers bloom along the margins. Delicate birds perch among painted branches. Graceful vines wind around the elegant letters. Each illustration reflects the beauty of the natural world outside the monastery walls. You watch an older scribe adding the smallest details to a painted butterfly. Its wings are no larger than your thumbnail. Yet he works with the same care that another artist might give to an entire painting. Every page is treated as something precious. Because it is. One finished book may require months, sometimes even years, to complete. As the morning grows warmer, sunlight reaches farther into the room. Tiny dust particles drift lazily through the golden beams like floating stars. From an open window comes the gentle fragrance of lavender carried by the breeze from the gardens below. A swallow briefly lands upon the stone windowsill before flying gracefully back into the bright blue sky. The peaceful rhythm of the scriptorium continues unchanged. There are no interruptions, no distractions, only quiet concentration. Your elderly guide eventually leads you toward a nearby doorway. Beyond it lies another remarkable room, the monastery library. Shelves made of dark oak line the stone walls from floor to ceiling. Upon them rest carefully bound books wrapped in leather. Some are large enough to require 2 hands to lift. Others are small enough to fit inside a traveling satchel. Every book has been copied by hand. Every page has passed through patient fingers. Every word has been preserved with extraordinary devotion. The room carries a comforting scent of leather bindings, polished wood, beeswax, parchment, and old paper. It feels almost timeless. Sunlight filters softly through high windows, bathing the shelves in warm golden light. The elderly monk gently removes one large volume from a shelf and places it carefully upon a wooden reading stand. The thick pages open with a soft whisper. Beautiful illustrations fill the margins. Bright colors remain vivid despite the passing centuries. You slowly turn a page, then another. Each page feels like a doorway into another world. Stories, history, poetry, wisdom. Knowledge patiently protected through generations. Without these quiet monks, many ancient books might have disappeared forever. Outside, kingdoms rise and fall. Kings wage wars. Merchants travel distant roads. But here, inside these peaceful walls, knowledge is guarded with gentle hands and quiet hearts. For a little while longer, you remain in the library, listening, breathing, simply enjoying the peaceful stillness. Then, somewhere outside, the familiar monastery bell rings once again. Its warm bronze voice drifts gently through the open windows. It is nearly midday. The monks quietly close their books. Quills are carefully cleaned. Ink pots are covered. Parchment is protected from dust. Every tool is returned to its proper place. Nothing is left carelessly behind. You take one final look around the peaceful scriptorium. The sunlight, the shelves, the quiet faces of the scribes, the gentle scratching of one final quill. It is a place where time itself seems to move more slowly, a place where patience becomes a kind of art. Together, you leave the library and step once more into the bright courtyard. The scent of fresh bread now drifts from the monastery kitchen. Somewhere nearby, vegetables simmer gently over the fire. The day's simple midday meal is almost ready, and another peaceful chapter of life inside the monastery is about to begin. Beside the fireplace, the midnight rain, and the castle at rest. The gentle fire continues to glow inside the stone hearth. Its golden light fills your room with a comforting warmth, while outside, the rain quietly washes over the ancient castle. Every rooftop, every tower, and every cobblestone path glistens beneath the soft moonlight hidden behind drifting clouds. You close the heavy wooden door behind you. The hallway beyond becomes silent once again. Now there is only you, the warm room, the steady fire, and the peaceful rain. You slowly remove your damp traveling cloak and hang it beside the fireplace. The last traces of the cool evening fade away. Your room smells wonderfully comforting. Burning oak, fresh lavender, beeswax candles, and the faint scent of old cedar wood from the hand-carved furniture. You walk toward the window once more. The glass is covered with tiny raindrops. Some slowly slide downward, leaving delicate trails before disappearing into the darkness below. You gently unlatch the window. It opens just enough for the cool night air to drift inside. The sound of the rain becomes clearer. Soft drops land upon the castle roof. Others fall into the courtyard fountain below. Some whisper through the ivy climbing the ancient walls. The entire castle seems wrapped inside nature's quiet lullaby. You take one slow, deep breath. The fresh scent of rain fills your lungs. It carries the fragrance of wet stone, pine trees, damp earth, and distant forests stretching far beyond the castle walls. After a peaceful moment, you gently close the window again. The fire welcomes you back with its comforting warmth. You settle into the large wooden chair beside the hearth. The flames dance slowly across the oak logs. Bright orange embers glow beneath them like tiny stars. Every now and then, a log shifts gently with a soft crackle. The sound is deeply comforting. You notice the leather-bound book resting upon the small wooden table. Curiosity invites you to open it. Inside are beautiful hand-painted illustrations. Castles, forests, ancient kings, peaceful villages. The colors remain vibrant despite the passing centuries. You slowly turn each page. There is no need to hurry. The story unfolds gently, just as the rain continues outside. Eventually, your eyelids begin to feel pleasantly heavy. You carefully close the book and place it back upon the table. The candle beside it burns quietly. Its small flame flickers gently whenever the fire breathes. Beyond the window, the rain continues without pause. Somewhere far across the hills, a distant roll of thunder softly echoes through the clouds. It is not loud. It is not frightening. It is simply another peaceful voice of the night. The castle remains perfectly still. Its thick stone walls have listened to thousands of rainy nights just like this one. They have sheltered weary travelers, royal families, faithful servants, and wandering storytellers. Tonight, they quietly shelter you. You rise from the chair and slowly prepare for bed. The large wooden bed stands waiting beside the fireplace. Its thick wool blankets look wonderfully soft. The linen sheets feel cool and fresh beneath your hands. You gently pull the blanket back and settle beneath its comforting weight. It is wonderfully warm. The firelight dances across the ceiling above. Soft shadows move gently across the stone walls. The room feels peaceful beyond words. You lie comfortably upon the pillow. Your breathing slows naturally. Outside, rain continues tapping gently against the window. Tap, tap, tap. Each tiny drop seems perfectly timed, like a quiet heartbeat. The sound blends beautifully with the gentle crackling of the fire. Together they create the perfect lullaby. For a little while, you simply listen. Nothing more. No thoughts. No worries. Only warmth. Only comfort. Only peace. As midnight quietly arrives, the castle grows even more silent. Somewhere far below, the great clock quietly marks the passing hour with slow, gentle chimes. 1, 2, 3. The sound drifts softly upward through the ancient halls before fading once again into silence. A castle guard walks slowly along the outer wall carrying a lantern. Its warm light briefly passes beneath your window before disappearing into the rainy darkness. His footsteps become quieter and quieter until only the rain remains. The fire has begun to settle into glowing embers. Their soft red light fills the room with a gentle glow. You pull the blankets slightly closer. It feels wonderfully comforting. Outside, the rain nourishes the gardens. The roses quietly drink the cool water. The ivy climbing the castle walls glistens beneath the moonlight. The fountain continues flowing peacefully through the night. Even the old oak trees seem grateful for the gentle rain. Nature itself appears deeply asleep. You imagine the castle dreaming of every traveler who has found warmth within its walls, dreaming of peaceful evenings beside glowing fireplaces, dreaming of rainy nights exactly like this one. The castle has stood through centuries. It has witnessed countless sunrises, countless winters, countless gentle rains, and tonight, you have become one small part of its long, quiet story. Your eyelids grow heavier. Your body feels completely relaxed. The warmth of the blanket surrounds you. The fire softly glows. The rain continues its endless melody. There is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing left to do. Only this peaceful moment. Only this quiet castle. Only this gentle rainy night. Slowly, very slowly, you begin drifting toward a deep, restful sleep.